A third division team from Malaysia is in the lead as we are approaching the final 3 kilometers of this climb. If we look at the general classification of the 59th edition of the Tour of Turkey, we find him, Merhawi Kudus, in 10th place, Pippa, just 24 seconds down on our race leader, Tobias Lund Andresen. But yeah, as you can imagine, in a mountain stage like this one, we left all those sprinters behind, and Merhawi Kudus seems to be on his way to something rather fantastic. 6 wins in his career. That was 2 stages in Rwanda, and that was 3 national championships. So he's looking rather well. Paul Double representing the UK there for Polti Kometa. Frank van der Broek for the DSM Firmenich PostNL team. We still have Vadim Pronsky and Lopez for Astana, Kazakhstan. And also in the blue of the Terengganu team, I think it might also be the other team in blue, is the teammate of this man, of Merhawi Kudus. But he's looking really well, doesn't he, Pippa?
Yeah, he's climbing this part really well, really well. So this is the hardest section, up to 2 kilometers to go. Now it's going to ease up just slightly to 5% or so, and then to 3% into the last kilometer. So, you know, if you can keep this pace up and hold off the others, he's got a good chance of going through the line. But you can see, you know, as the almost 10% takes its toll, that the whole group's exploding now.
Now it's Paul Double and Frank van der Broek on their way to our lone leader. And it looks like Paul Double is the absolute engine of this group. We saw him on the attack, Pippa. This might be the day that the British rider gets his first professional win. But that could also go for Frank van der Broek, the young Dutchman with number 13. They're making their way across to our leader as we approach our final kilometer. I think all 3 riders still are within a good possibility actually of winning this race. We have Paul Double also at 24 seconds, and Frank van der Broek is also at 24 seconds. So it might actually come down to the bonus seconds that we have on the line. If we look at the meters of elevation there, we are at 1173, and that means that we only have 50 meters of elevation left to go in the final kilometer and a bit.
Yeah, so this is where it levels off, and Paul Double looks the strongest, so whether he's going to be the strongest in the sprint remains to be seen. But now it's kind of eased off to that 5%, and then we go into 3% for the last kilometre. It's going to be hard for him to distance the others, so you know, he has to keep the pressure on and hurt them as much as he can.
Well, I said a little while ago, I wouldn't be surprised that today is going to be the first professional win for Frank van der Broek. He made a name for himself last year in the Dutch National Championships when he was still racing for the Continental Development Team of DSM. He was on the attack with Bart Lemon, and they both attacked together because they thought, well, we're both lower tiered riders and nobody's going to catch us. And that was the case for quite some time in that championship around Watersleid in Sittard. In the end, Dylan van Baarle, of course, got the national title, but both Frank van der Broek and Bart Lemmer really made a name for themselves. Bart Lemmer promoted to the Visma Lease Bike World Tour team, and Frank van der Broek quickly made a promotion to the DSM Firmenich PostNL team. They've been incredibly successful already in the Tour of Turkey, both stage wins by Tobias Lund Andresen and of course Fabio Jakobsen on the opening day. But it could also be the day that Paul Double is going to get his first professional win. The man from Winchester who forged a career for himself outside of the UK. I mentioned he started with the fantastic Zappies junior team, but then made his way to Italy with the team of MGK FIS, Human Powered Health, for 2 years. Of course, the team folded after the 2023 season, and he made his way to Team Polti Kometa. He's 27, already won a stage in the Tour of Bulgaria. That was in 2022. And we're now inside the final kilometer, I assume. The GPS, there we have it. The GPS is still on 2 kilometers, but this is the final kilometer. Paul Double looks very strong, as does Frank van der Broek and, of course, Merhawi Kudus. Those are the 3 riders who are going to sprint it out for the stage win, and the one coming across the line first is automatically also going to be our no race leader. Is there a mechanical there for Merhawi Kudus? He's raising his hand.
Yeah,
He's raising his hand. His young teammate, Metkel Eyob, also from Eritrea, is not that far behind. He's on his wheel now of our early attacker, Harold Lopez. He was raising his hand. He is continuing, but it might be a slow puncture. I wonder why he was raising his hand. Of course, he's not asking for a feed in the final kilometre. Looks like the two chasers, Lopez and Metkel Eyob, are losing ground. And Paul Double, he's absolutely giving everything, and I feel that Frank van der Broek might be the one profiting from all the work that Paul Double is doing here. The attack, the first attacker was the man in blue, was Merhawi Kudus. We've seen him on Astana, we've seen him on EF Education, where he sadly didn't get a new contract, but this might be the moment that he is going to prove that he's still one of the best climbers. 3 riders in the lead, 3 chasers, because Victor Laganotti has now joined the chase as well, but it might be too late. It's not the steepest of gradients in that final kilometre. As we approach the finish line, it's 400 metres to go. 400 metres to go. This is the entry gate to the National Park. Paul Double in first place. Frank van der Broek, he's eyeing the competition. And Merhawi Kudus in third position. They are going to sprint it out for the win in the Queen stage. And Frank van der Broek is the one opening the attack. Paul Double, sadly, is paying for the effort. Frank van der Broek on his way to his first professional win. He's got the name. Does he also have the win? Kudus is still not beaten. We're not at the line just yet. Merhawi Kudus, he initiated this attack. Frank van der Broek, Merhawi Kudus. It's Frank van der Broek winning. And also the new leader, Merhawi Kudus in second and Paul Double in third place, despite all the work that he did. This is Lopez in fourth, and Metkel Eyob looks to be the rider in fourth place, or just in fourth place is Eyob, and in fifth it's Lopez. But it's a first professional win and a fourth stage win for DSM Firmenich PostNL. What a wonderful, wonderful moment to get your first professional win. Frank van der Broek, look him up. He is he's a special young guy.
Yeah, that was quite interesting that Frank van der Broek left. He was obviously on his limit because he's riding too long on the front, to win the stage.
This is the top 10 of our Queen stage. Frank van der Broek wins ahead of Merhawi Kudus, Paul Double, Metkel Eyob, Harold Lopez, Mario Aparicio, Lander Looks. Great result there for the cyclocross rider. Carl Frederik Hagen, Alexander Hayek and Vadim Pronsky. That is the top 10 of our mountain stage. That means that he is also our new leader. 4 seconds on Merhawi Kudus, 9 on Paul Double. Looks like Paul is set for a podium place in the general classification because we've got 2 almost pan-flat stages to go in Izmir and in Istanbul, and Pippa and I will be with you this weekend for those.
There's been that little downhill bit into the last kilometre and into this final sprint, and he's found himself on the front, but he's not ready for the sprint yet. He's still flat out, whereas Frank van der Broek was second position. He's on the bottom of the bar, so as soon as he accelerates, the dope has dropped, and Kudus is trying to come around him, but it's really difficult uphill to kind of come from and off the wheel and go around the rider in front, because you're not only fighting wind, you're also fighting gravity. So that'll be why Kudus is angry with himself. He had to do that from the front.